I never thought something as small as an Apple AirTag could ruin my sense of safety. I always thought of those things as useful, a little gadget to find your keys or your bag. I never imagined it could be used for something else, something terrifying. This all started in April, a few months after I moved to a new city for work. I was renting a small one-bedroom apartment near downtown. Nothing fancy, but cozy. I didn't know many people there yet. My job at the marketing firm kept me busy, and my evenings were quiet. I liked it that way. It was a Friday night when I first noticed something strange. I had gone out with a coworker, Anna, to grab dinner at a restaurant about 20 minutes away. When I got home and was scrolling through my notifications, I saw something new pop up on my iPhone. AirTag found moving with you. At first, I didn't think much of it. I'd read that sometimes AirTags could mistakenly ping if someone nearby had one in their bag or pocket. I assumed it was Anna's. The alert said the AirTag had been detected moving with me for some time, but I ignored it. I clicked dismiss and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up late, made coffee, and went about my day. But around noon, when I went to get groceries, I got the same notification again. AirTag found moving with you. This time, it made my stomach twist a little. The alert showed a map, a dotted red line tracing my route from the restaurant last night to my apartment, and now to the grocery store. That didn't make sense. If it had been Anna's, the tracking would have stopped when we went our separate ways. The notification gave me the option to make the AirTag play a sound. I hit play sound. I stood there in the parking lot, phone in hand, waiting. A faint chirp chirp echoed from somewhere nearby, high-pitched, electronic, muffled. I started digging through my purse, thinking maybe someone accidentally dropped theirs in there. Nothing. I checked the back seat, the trunk, under the seats. The chirping stopped. I brushed it off, telling myself maybe it was someone else's AirTag nearby that the signal confused. But when I got home, I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. That night, every creak in my apartment sounded louder. Every passing car made my heart race. At around 1 a.m., I woke up to another notification. AirTag found moving with you. The same message, the same red trail on the map. But this time, the route showed something that made my blood run cold. The map didn't just show where I'd been today. It showed movement from inside my apartment. A small cluster of dots moved between my living room, kitchen, and hallway. I stared at the screen for a long time. My brain refused to process what I was seeing. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe the GPS was off, but I couldn't ignore it anymore. I grabbed a flashlight and started searching. I tore through everything, under furniture, in drawers, my coat pockets, the trash can. Then, when I crouched near the door, something caught my eye. A small, round silver disc taped beneath the doormat. An AirTag. I picked it up, hands shaking. The white plastic was scuffed, like it had been there for days. I pressed the metal face. The sound played immediately, confirming it was the same one. I didn't know what to do. I'd never been this scared in my life. I threw it into a bowl on my counter and started Googling what to do if someone's tracking you with an AirTag. The suggestions were all the same. Disable it, contact the police, or check if it's registered to someone. I held my phone near it, and the serial number popped up. It said the AirTag was registered to name withheld. The name was blurred out. My heart pounded harder. I called the police. When the officer arrived, a young guy named Officer Benson, he looked at the AirTag like it was no big deal. "These things happen," he said. "Sometimes people drop them accidentally, or maybe it belonged to the previous tenant. But it was taped under my doormat," I said. "That's not an accident," he sighed. "We can file a report, but unless you're getting direct threats, or we have proof someone's targeting you, there's not much we can do." I felt like screaming, but what else could I do? He took down my statement, wrote a few notes, and left. I disabled the AirTag by removing the battery and threw it into the trash chute. For a few days, I tried to forget about it. The notifications stopped, and I convinced myself it was over until the following Friday. I was driving home from work when I got the same notification again. "AirTag found moving with you." My hands went numb. I checked the map. The trail showed my entire route from work to my apartment again. It wasn't the same AirTag. I'd thrown that one away. This was a new one. I started to panic. I pulled over and searched the car again. Under the seats, the glove box, the floor mats, nothing. That night, I parked in a different spot a few blocks away and walked home. When I got inside, I locked every door and window, but I couldn't sleep. Around 2 a.m., I heard something outside, soft footsteps in the hallway. I held my breath. The sound stopped right outside my door. Then, a faint metallic tap-tap, like someone lightly tapping a coin against the peephole. I grabbed my phone, ready to call 911, but the noise stopped. I peeked through the peephole. The hallway was empty. I barely slept that night. The next morning, when I opened my door, there was something lying on the mat. Another AirTag. This one was cracked, dented, like it had been thrown. My stomach turned. I looked up and down the hallway. Nobody was there. I called the police again. This time, 2 officers came. They checked the building's cameras, but told me most of them didn't work. The ones that did only covered the main entrance, not the hallways. They told me they'd keep an eye out. That was it. Over the next few weeks, I started noticing little things. My car would be parked slightly off from where I left it. My doorknob had faint smudges, like someone had touched it with dirty fingers. Once, I found a folded note wedged under my windshield wiper. It just said, "Nice place." That's when I stopped feeling safe anywhere. I started carrying pepper spray everywhere. I stopped going out at night. I even taped my laptop camera and covered my windows with blackout curtains. But the AirTag notifications kept coming. Sometimes I'd get one while at work, sometimes while at home. No matter how many times I moved, or even after I got a new phone, they kept showing up. Finally, I had enough. I decided to move out. I broke my lease, packed up, and rented a place across town. I didn't tell anyone where I was going, not even my coworkers. I bought a used car, switched my phone number, and deleted all my social media accounts. For the first week, it was quiet, peaceful, no notifications, no strange noises. I actually started to breathe again then. One night, exactly a week after I moved in, I woke up to the faint sound of my phone buzzing on the nightstand. AirTag found moving with you. I froze. My entire body went cold as I tapped the alert. The map showed the same red trail again, starting from my old apartment. Following my route to the new one, I was shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. I hit play sound, chirp, 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 dot, It was coming from inside my closet. I grabbed a baseball bat and slowly opened the door. The sound got louder, echoing against the walls. My clothes were swaying slightly, even though there was no air vent nearby. I reached in and found one of my jackets, the one I hadn't worn since moving. I searched the pockets, and there it was. An AirTag, the same one I thought I'd thrown away weeks ago. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't even stay. I packed a bag, got in my car, and drove to a motel an hour out of town. When I checked my phone the next morning, I noticed something new. There was a text from an unknown number. "You really shouldn't have moved." No name, no reply. Just that. I changed my number again and went to the police with everything. The screenshots, the tags, even the text. They said they'd escalated, but I never heard back. Months later, I finally sold my car and moved states. I've been here for almost 6 months now. No notifications, no texts, nothing, until yesterday. When I got home from work, I found a small padded envelope sitting on my doorstep. There was no return address. Inside was a brand new Apple AirTag, and taped to it was a folded note that said, in neat handwriting, "Found you." I work from home, so I get a lot of deliveries, random Amazon boxes, PR packages, review products. It's part of my job. I run a small tech YouTube channel, nothing huge, but big enough that companies sometimes send me gadgets to test. I've always been careful about what I share online. No obvious house numbers in my videos, no mention of my city. My P.O. box is in a different district. I thought I was smart about that, until one day, a small package arrived that changed everything. It didn't have a sender name, just a plain brown box with my full name and home address handwritten in black marker. That alone made me uncomfortable. My home address isn't public. I thought maybe it was a mistake, or maybe one of my subscribers had found it somehow. Sometimes fans send stuff, though I always tell them not to. I sliced the box open carefully. Inside was a small velvet pouch, like the kind used for jewelry. No note, no receipt, nothing else. I opened the pouch. Inside was a single Apple AirTag. At first, I laughed. I thought maybe it was a brand promo, some company sending AirTags for review, but there was no brand card, no PR contact info, nothing. Then I realized something else. The AirTag had already been activated. I checked my iPhone, and sure enough, a notification appeared almost immediately. AirTag detected near you. That made me stop laughing. I picked it up and examined it. It wasn't new. The white surface had faint scratches, and the metallic side had a small engraving, a number, or maybe a set of initials, AM. I put it back in the box and checked my Ring doorbell footage. The delivery wasn't made by UPS, FedEx, or any of the usual drivers. It was a man I didn't recognize, black hoodie, baseball cap, face turned away from the camera. He left the box on my step, looked at the door for a few seconds, then walked off. The timestamp read 3:17 a.m. No courier delivers at that hour. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to call the police, but what would I even say? Someone mailed me an air. They'd probably just tell me to throw it away. So I tried to ignore it. I threw the box and the AirTag into the kitchen drawer and went on with my day. That night, I went to bed around midnight. Around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed on the nightstand. Half asleep, I reached for it and saw the same notification again. AirTag found moving with you. My pulse spiked. I hit find nearby. The little radar circle glowed, pulsing faster and faster until it filled the screen. The AirTag was inside my apartment. I got up, heart hammering. The drawer, the one I'd put it in, was open. I know I closed it earlier. I remember hearing it click shut. The AirTag was sitting on top of the counter now. I backed away slowly. I live alone. No roommates, no pets. The front door was still locked, the windows sealed for the rest of the night. I sat awake on the couch, every light in the house turned on, clutching a kitchen knife. In the morning, I checked the ring footage again. Between 1 o'clock and 2 a.m., the feed glitched for 5 full minutes. Then, at 2:05, there was a shadow near my door, someone standing just out of frame, motionless. I called the police that morning. The dispatcher said they'd send someone to check, but no one ever showed. I threw the AirTag in the garbage and took the bag straight to the dumpster behind my building. That should have been the end of it, but 2 days later, my phone buzzed again. AirTag found moving with you. I nearly dropped it. I hadn't even left my apartment that day. I tapped on the alert. The map showed a red trail starting from the dumpster, looping around the back of my building and stopping right at my door. I checked the hallway through my peephole. Nothing. I went to bed that night feeling like I was being watched. Every small creak made me flinch. Around 4 a.m., I heard it, a faint metallic clink, like something hitting my window. Then another. I pulled the curtain aside and looked out. Below, in the dim parking lot light, stood a figure. A man. He was staring straight up at my window. When he noticed me move, he backed up, disappearing into the dark. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, I checked my window. Lying on the sill, barely visible between the glass and the frame, was another AirTag. I called 911 immediately. This time, officers actually came. They checked around the building, but the guy was long gone. One of them, Officer Gray, took the AirTag and promised to look into it. That night, I stayed at a friend's place across town. I didn't tell her everything, just that someone was bothering me. I didn't want to sound paranoid. We were watching TV when my phone buzzed again. AirTag found moving with you. My throat closed up. I hadn't brought any of my stuff except my phone and wallet. I hit find nearby. The signal showed it was close, really close. I dumped my bag onto the couch, emptying everything out. Nothing. Then I remembered my jacket. I reached into the lining and felt something small and hard stitched into the fabric. I ripped it open, another AirTag. I don't even know how long I stood there, staring at it. I couldn't think, couldn't breathe. That jacket had been hanging in my hallway for weeks. Someone had been in my apartment the next day. I went back home with the police again. They did a full sweep, even brought in a maintenance guy to check vents and crawl spaces. Nothing. But my Ring doorbell footage showed something new. At exactly 2:03 a.m., the camera picked up movement, a hand, just a single hand, reaching into the frame, covering the lens completely before it cut to black. That was the night before I found the AirTag in my jacket. The cops told me to stay somewhere else for a few days while they investigated. I packed a small bag, locked up, and went to stay at my brother's place in the suburbs. I left everything behind except my phone, laptop, and wallet. I didn't want to risk carrying another tracker. For 3 days, nothing happened. No alerts, no messages, no strange noises. I started to relax. Maybe whoever it was had given up. Then, on the 4th night, around 1 a.m., my brother shook me awake. "There's someone outside," he whispered. We looked out the window together. Parked across the street was a dark sedan with its headlights off. We couldn't see inside, but the engine was running. My brother went outside, shouting at them. The car peeled off. 10 minutes later, I got a text from an unknown number. "You shouldn't have left." That was the last straw. I went to the police again, this time with every screenshot, video, and AirTag serial number I had. They ran a search on the IDs. 2 of them came back, registered to an Anthony Miller. My stomach dropped. I knew that name. Anthony Miller was a tech reviewer who'd emailed me months ago asking for a collaboration. He'd seemed normal, even friendly, but when I said I wasn't interested, he started messaging me constantly. I eventually blocked him. He must have found my address somehow. The police said they'd reach out to him. That was 2 months ago. I never heard anything back. I moved again, across the state this time. I changed my number, closed my P.O. box, and quit YouTube altogether. For a while, it was peaceful. No notifications, no texts. Then, 2 weeks ago, I got an email. No subject line, no message body, just one attachment, a photo. It was a picture of me standing outside my new apartment, holding my groceries. In the bottom corner, reflected in the window of my car, was the faint outline of a man holding up his phone. The email address, anthony.miller.tech@icloud.com. The worst part wasn't that he'd found me again. It was what was lying on the ground next to my car in the picture, a small white AirTag. I travel a lot for work, or at least I used to. Before everything that happened, airports were like second homes to me, crowded, fluorescent, filled with a hum of voices and rolling luggage. The noise was always comforting in a strange way. A kind of anonymity. When you're constantly surrounded by strangers, you can pretend you're invisible. In early 2024, I was flying to Seattle for a week-long conference. Standard corporate stuff, meetings, panels, and after-hours mixers where everyone tried to pretend they weren't exhausted. I packed light, a carry-on, my laptop bag, and a suitcase with a few days' worth of clothes. Nothing unusual. When I landed, I grabbed my luggage from the carousel, called a rideshare, and checked into my hotel downtown. It was one of those modern business hotels, white walls, glass elevators, and that faint, sterile scent of air freshener, trying too hard to smell expensive. Everything felt perfectly normal. For about 12 hours, the first night, I was unpacking when I heard a faint ping, like a digital chirp, almost musical. It wasn't my phone. I thought maybe the TV had turned on a notification, or my laptop had updated. But when I looked, every screen was dark. I shrugged it off. The sound came again. Ping. This time, from inside my suitcase. I froze. It was short, sharp, mechanical, the same kind of sound I'd heard in a YouTube video about AirTags. I remember laughing nervously at the time, thinking, no way, that can't be it. But when I opened the front pocket of my luggage and dug my hand inside, my fingers brushed against something cold and round. An Apple AirTag. I pulled it out and stared at it in disbelief. I don't own one. I've never owned one. It was spotless, like it had just come out of the box. Immediately, that uneasy, prickling feeling started in my neck, like being watched. I told myself it had to be a mistake. Maybe someone's AirTag had fallen out of their bag and somehow ended up in mine. That happens, right? Still, I couldn't shake the thought that it wasn't an accident. I opened my phone. Sure enough, there it was, a notification I hadn't noticed before. AirTag found moving with you. I felt my stomach drop. I tapped it, and the screen showed a map. The AirTag had been with me since I'd landed at SeaTac, even before that, actually. The line started somewhere back in my departure city, meaning it had been in my luggage before I even boarded the plane. I took the AirTag down to the front desk, explained the situation, and handed it over to the receptionist. He was polite, but I could tell he didn't really understand what I was saying. He scanned it with his phone and told me they'd hold on to it for lost and found. That should have been the end of it. But that's when the real nightmare started. The next morning, my phone buzzed again. AirTag found, moving with you. I just stared at the screen for a full minute. There was no way. I had literally given it away. I checked my luggage, my laptop bag, every pocket of my clothes. Nothing. I tried to make sense of it. Maybe it was the same tag, and it hadn't updated on my phone yet. But when I tapped for details, it showed a new serial number. Someone had placed another one. The logical part of my brain tried to explain it. Maybe someone at the hotel had confused mine with another guest's. But there was that growing sense of wrongness again, that deep, instinctive alarm bell that rings in your body before your mind can explain why. I left the hotel and went straight to the Apple store a few blocks away. I showed them the notification. The employee confirmed that yes, this was a different AirTag, and no, they couldn't tell me who it belonged to without a subpoena. He suggested I disable it. I followed the steps, but as I twisted off the battery cap, I realized my hands were shaking. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined someone standing in the hallway outside my room, watching. I even checked under the bed. I dreamed of hearing faint pings, hundreds of them, echoing like sonar in the dark. My coworker, Jenna, noticed I was out of it during the morning session. She joked that I looked like I'd seen a ghost. I almost laughed, but then my phone buzzed again. AirTag found moving with you. I felt lightheaded. I showed Jenna. She frowned, confused, then offered to help search my bags again. We tore through everything right there in the conference lounge laptop bag, suitcase, even my coat pockets. Nothing, but the phone insisted it was still there. The map showed it, following me everywhere I went. That night, when I went back to my room, I tried something desperate. I took all my things, every item I'd brought with me, and left them in the hallway. Then I sat on the bed and waited. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed again. The AirTag was still moving with me, which meant it wasn't in my luggage. It was on me. I searched myself, jacket, pants, wallet, shoes. Nothing. I even checked the lining of my clothes in the mirror, but I couldn't find anything. Still, the app kept updating my location in real time, tracking me across the hotel room. That's when I started crying. Not out of fear. Exactly, more like this primal, helpless panic, because I knew what this meant. Someone had placed it somewhere. I couldn't see. Inside something, or worse, inside me. I know how insane that sounds, but by that point, logic had stopped helping. Every sound outside the room made me jump. Every knock from the elevator felt like someone coming closer. I ended up sleeping in the bathtub that night, with the door locked and the light on. The next morning, I tried to act normal. I checked out early, went straight to the airport, and decided to fly home a day ahead of schedule. I told my boss I was sick. When I got to security, I felt my heart hammering again. As my bag went through the X-ray machine, I watched the TSA agent's expression shift. She looked at the screen for a long moment, then pulled my suitcase aside. "Sir, is this your bag?" she asked. I nodded. She unzipped the lining and reached in. My blood went cold when she pulled out a small white disc, an AirTag. I almost screamed that it wasn't mine, but the words stuck in my throat. I tried to explain that someone had been tracking me, that I'd already reported it, but the more I spoke, the more she looked at me like I was losing my mind. They confiscated the AirTag and let me board. But the whole flight home, I couldn't shake the feeling that there were more, that they'd just missed one, that whoever was doing this was one step ahead. When I got home, I threw away my suitcase. I replaced my phone, wiped my Apple ID, and bought a new number. For weeks, everything was quiet, until last night. It had been almost 2 months. I was finally starting to feel normal again. I'd even booked another trip short, just to visit family. I unpacked an old duffel bag I hadn't used in years, one that had been sitting in my closet untouched. When I reached into the inner pocket, my hand hit something smooth and round, another AirTag. No, not possible. I took it apart immediately, threw the pieces in the garbage disposal, and ran the sink until I was sure it was dust. I tried to convince myself it was left over from some old trip, maybe even my ex's, but deep down, I knew it wasn't random. It was deliberate. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Every creak in the apartment made me jump. Around 3 a.m., I checked my phone one last time before trying to rest and froze. On my screen was a notification: AirTag found moving with you. I dropped the phone. The sound of metal scraping echoed from my kitchen, faint but distinct, like something shifting in the drawer where I'd destroyed the tag. And then, that same musical ping. I live alone. I've torn this place apart 6 times now, pulled up the couch cushions, unscrewed vent covers, ripped through the trash. I can't find it, but it doesn't matter, because I've realized something worse. It's not the same AirTag every time. They're different ones. Someone keeps replacing them. And no matter how far I run, they always know where I am, down to the exact room, the exact second. Sometimes I think I can hear faint clicks coming from the walls. Sometimes, I swear I hear breathing from the vents. My rational brain tells me it's paranoia, but that doesn't explain the map that keeps updating. Every few minutes, the red dot moves, always toward me. I haven't left the apartment in days. I'm scared too. I've taped over my phone's cameras, unplugged everything electronic, and turned off the Wi-Fi. But the pings still come. Last night, I woke up to a new notification. Not AirTag found moving with you, this one said. You've arrived at your destination. And that's when I realized the red dot wasn't following me anymore. It had stopped, right on top of me.